So it's
last day.
Last day. We'll go with last day.
Day 5. Day 4 of the rally.
Day 5 of the trip. Day 4 of the rally. The last day of the rally. And today we're going back down to Perth. But first, as always, importantly, got to meet up with the others at 8:30. It is just gone 8-ish. And we're meeting at the picturesque Morrison's car park. Ooh, I know, they really do treat us on this trip. The pub quiz last night was really good.
No idea where we came, because they only dealt with the winners.
The top 3, weren't it? Well, the top 4, because they were like a standoff for 2nd and 3rd place.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'll review. I thought we got pretty much.
We must have been
answers.
like 1 or 2 out, or due to my incredible spelling abilities and writing abilities, they didn't understand my answers, so therefore marked us down.
Yeah, or they just didn't like us. I don't know.
They didn't like us.
We
were too posh for them.
Oh look, we've found one already. There's the S40.
Hey!
I think everyone's going to look at that mad caravan there. Looks like he's made it himself.
That does look as though he's made it.
It's got a Yale lock on the door. Anyway, so today we're going to go. I don't know.
I mean, 5 out of 10 for trying to do it, but
I like the fact he built it himself. I doubt it's full of mod cons and comfortable furniture. But yeah, so today we're going to go. The starting bit of the route is going to take us down to Tom in Tool through Speyside. So maybe finally today's the day we find a distillery. Who knows?
Well, let's hope that we hit distillery places at the right time.
I'm going to say, because the problem is, it's also all the places I know which are distilleries in this bit probably won't be open by the time we get there. Because Scottish licensing laws won't sell you. Oh, that's true, isn't it? They won't sell you alcohol before midday.
Midday.
Oh, it's not going to go well, is it?
Unless they have some bizarre.
Unless if you want a distillery, it's all right.
If it's a distillery, you're fine.
Oh, we're selling it as a sample.
Exactly.
Some kind of get out of jail clause. But anyhow, like after so far 3 short distilleries, which might not necessarily salt whiskey, I don't know.
Apart from the Glenmorangie one, they would have sold whiskey.
They would have sold us whiskey, but they were also short.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay, I think we're left. So we'll go and meet up with everybody else. We hadn't had any breakfast. The hotel did do breakfast, to be fair to them, but you had to order it and we forgot.
Yeah.
And along my jolly chef comment,
yeah,
she didn't look that jolly. No. Oh. And this morning when we come down, the smell of the breakfast wasn't
great.
No, it wasn't great. Yeah. It didn't feel like
it was porridge mixed with bacon. That's what the smell was.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Oh, there's the curry house we went to last night. Look, the Mangrove.
Mangrove. A shout out to the Mangrove.
That was really good. It was amazing.
www.mangroveinverness.co.uk. Very, very good curry.
Yeah, and the guy
really helpful. Really helpful.
Like proper soup. I mean, we are stalwarts of curry.
Stalwarts.
Yeah, we know a curry from one another.
We know a curry.
Describe my choice as a good choice.
That was a very good choice. So we'll put a Google rating on there, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, they can have 5 out of 5. Enjoy that. The pub was good as well. It was lively.
Lively, yes.
I'm going to choose lively.
Although this is an interesting thing. When I was waiting for you to come out the loo, one of the barmaids that was coming upstairs was like shouting at one of the punters, and I walked up the stairs with a big smile on the face, and she said, "You gotta love Sundays."
She said, "You told me, didn't you?"
Yeah. And it's like, hang on a minute, is this some strange sort of medieval thing that actually Scottish people go out on the lash on a Sunday? Perhaps.
Well, I was asking you about that because everywhere were rammed yesterday.
It was absolutely chocker.
And I just assumed it's because it's the bank holiday.
Yeah.
But we're beginning to think that's just every Sunday in Inverness.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of very happy people.
Very
happy.
Very happy people. More happy people than shiny happy people.
Yeah, quite possibly. I know when we come down the stairs, those girls come out. They said hello to us, and I think when I said girls, they were older women. We'll go with that. For James Gardo's benefit, he would call them cougars. I know. And I think we were in
Steady
danger
on.
of them
Steady
trying to
on.
pick us up. Oh, you see the Morrisons, look, on the side. It's not libel if it's true.
Oh, right. But how do we know? How can we demonstrate that it was true when they're not there?
They're never going to see this, we'll be alright.
No. I'm going to go into the Morrison's petrol station now.
Oh, yeah.
Do the deed now. Then
Yeah,
we're not
go. Well, yeah, it's on this side. So it's my turn to pay for the petrol. I'm thankful we're back in cheap petrol country because it's 139.7.
Cheapskate.
But obviously, if they've got the good stuff, Bob, I'll put the good stuff in. You know,
Don't
it
think
only
they
seems
do.
fair.
Morrison's used to do.
Oh, what a pity they don't do the good stuff. Oh, I am sorry. How much? Because especially since it's here for tank. No, I don't look like they do the good stuff.
No.
They've got red. They've got
black
green
and green.
petrol and black diesel, and that's
Yeah.
your lot. Although at least I'm not filling up like an S40.
There you go.
Right, we shall stop
There's
there.
4 of us here now.
Yeah, there's a lot of us here. We'll stop there and we'll start talking. We'll get the road proper.
All right. By magic, we have sunshine.
Oh, it looks like it's bright now.
Told you.
So we've stopped at the V8 Cafe for breakfast because we had no breakfast, and the B&B did have
It did have breakfast, but when you came down, there was a smell of porridge and bacon in the air that just didn't sit right.
Yeah, it's just a bad mix. We don't want that. So we've come to this Truckers Cafe, and we didn't know, but I'm very happy to report that they're also 2023 steak and gravy pie champions of the Scotch Pie Awards. Yeah.
Yeah, very exclusive.
So we've got some of them, obviously, because now we've got to try that. So that's in the glove cupboard, glove box. There we go, glove compartment. We'll go with that.
Maybe that's where I put my gloves.
I looked, I didn't see him.
Okay.
If I'd have seen him, I would have said. And he's most definitely beer o'clock. So we have been told there's a distillery where we're going, which is good on the route today. There's also no challenge given this morning, but he said, it's a red herring. Although I didn't quite understand that.
Right.
Bob, I think we want to go left here because no, hang on, we'll go right.
Well, we came in.
Yeah, we came in from that way. We're going back that way. We've got to get back to the A9. Okay, the new. Watch, left turn. Stop. It's a junction. Invisible brake. Invisible brake. Bob uses invisible brake more than I do.
No, I didn't.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was staring focused, 100% focused on where it was going.
There's no point in using an invisible brake.
Well, no, there
the
isn't.
invisible brake doesn't fucking work.
No, but it's an indicator to the driver that the passengers experience mild discomfort. Take a left.
Left turn, Clive.
Ooh, someone smells a bit burny. Straight on you.
See, one of the things that I've noticed with this car is that when you've got the roof down, it doesn't make as many clunky noises.
It's not as noisy, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's true. Otherwise it sort of rattles about at the top.
That's right.
Alright, so I'm gonna say
Come back the way we came.
yeah. So we want town centre here.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go that way to A9.
No. Oh, could you go on that way?
Yeah, go around and where that car's just going.
Well, you know, I like going round roundabouts. It's fun.
Oh, round the roundabout. Yeah, so as I was saying, there's no challenge issue today. Apparently in the book, it tells you, it's hidden the red herring. So the only thing I can find in the book which suggests there might be a challenge is to take a picture at a sign called Cock Bridge.
Woohoo!
Cock Bridge? Yeah, Cock Bridge. Yesterday Boner Bridge, today Cock Bridge. So we will do that just to be on the safe side. And the only other thing it says is to go up on the chairlift, but he did warn us.
It's freezing.
It would freeze your knackers off, and it is quite cold today, so I can only think he's right about that. Right, straight on here, because we want A9 towards Perth. So I'm going to have to stop now because the battery's going flat and the SD card's filling up, so I'll do a little bit of camera maintenance. Bob, any thoughts in starting points for today?
I haven't done anything about politics yet, which I could gear it up for. What else? I've got a piece to camera to say thank you very much for donations and that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, we do need to do that, 100%.
What else? We've got to do those 2 challenges that we've kind of...
I'm going to say you want to be on the outside.
Well, don't have to be on the outside just yet.
Go on, you're going to say about a piece of camera about the 2 challenges?
2 challenges, yeah.
2 left to do.
2 left to do. Get as many people in the car as we possibly can.
Right.
And a picturesque view, which I can't believe we've not done, but I think that's because I've done it on my big camera and it's a bugger to get hold of.
Well, no, I can pull it off on the computer, but I mean, again, you're kind of spoilt for picturesque views, so I don't know. We're gonna have to. Everyone's done like the bridge, and
yeah.
Well, I've got Ben Nevis, but you can't really see it because of all the tourists.
Tourists and cloud.
Yeah, and the clouds. And we parked the car somewhere silly. But
yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure that one out. Is it? Right. For the meantime, I'm gonna stop there. Change the cameras over. Change the battery. Change the SD card. Especially while we're stood still.
Oh, it's traffic lights, that's why we're waiting.
Yeah, waiting for traffic lights. Yeah. We'll see you in a bit. You may notice that Bob's got a hat on, but I don't.
Yep.
After researching the Blair Apple distillery to see if I could buy my dad a bottle of whiskey, I was putting the phone back in my pocket and I went back, and now I don't have a hat anymore.
Steve.
Do you know how Bob responded to this sad moment in my life?
Really chuckle.
He had a good old chuckle. He did.
I did say, oh no. I went, oh no!
Oh no! He said oh no quite a few times this trip. Normally when something, I've run over a vole or we've crashed into a bird. So I'm glad that, you know, the death of a small animal is matched by the loss of my hat, I guess.
There you go, you see. The respect I gave that small animal. Oh no.
Oh no? Oh dear. So yeah, so I guess I look forward to having my hair ruffled for the rest of the trip. What's left of it anyway.
It's a bit brassic as well today.
It is quite
cool. And put the lid back on.
I'll just have to buy another hat.
Well.
Oh well, somebody behind me got a free hat. I hope it didn't cause any accidents. It'd be funny if somebody down the road like picks it up and chases down. Going, I've got your hat.
Got your hat, mister.
Oh dear God. Oh, that's the dangers of being.
Thank you very much.
Being quite so tall. So yeah, R.I.P. hat.
R.I.P. hat. Hello there, denizens. So as you can see, Steve has taken over the driving. He's feeling a bit racy that he wants to go past the little Vauxhall Corsas in front of him. I've kind of advised him not to, and I think he's made the wise choice there. As you know, we have his hat's disappeared, so you can see his lovely hair. What's left of it is fluffing around in the wind. So Steve has given me this opportunity now to talk about politics.
Especially while I'm distracted.
Especially whilst he's distracted.
If I get too annoyed with what he's saying, I'm just going to crash the car into a hill. It's unlikely.
Well, I've got enough time then, because the hills are over there.
Me and
so
you
it's
are
fine.
generally politically.
We're generally politically aligned, right? However,
slight difference of opinions about certain things, but you know, nothing we can get into fisticuffs over.
Yeah, exactly. We agreeably disagree. I think the phrase is.
Yeah, mud on this road.
Cows.
Stay there.
Yeah, careful of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying not to push it. I don't want to spin the back end out like that one.
Woo!
Shift more.
No. Right, so let us start off with the 2014, where Cameron allowed Scotland to have a vote on independence.
This is not where I thought you were going to start.
This is where I'm going to start, because this is where I believe...
Is this where the rot set in?
This is where the rot set in, right? So Cameron won that by basically going, you know what, if you go independent, it'll be shit, right? And there was sort of hairy cows.
We've been looking for hairy cows.
We've been looking for hairy cows for yonks, and we've just passed them, but we got disqualified for our hairy cow picture.
Well, we didn't get disqualified, just to get us a point.
Oh, that was shit, that, wasn't it? Anyway, so it all started in 2014 in the referendum, when, I mean, you could argue that it was started before that, when Unite decided that they were going to vote in Ed Miliband instead of his brother, but there you go. So yeah, so Cameron won that by basically saying to Scotland, it will be shit, without actually telling everybody, well, you know what, it won't be that bad for you, for the simple fact that if you went independent, you'd have all the oil, and you'd have a lot of water and other energy and renewable sources.
And
which,
most importantly, it'd be free of Westminster.
It would be free of Westminster. Which, in all of the outgoings of Scotland, is never included in the calculation. See? They only include either banking or exports, i.e. whiskey, which does make a lot of money for Scotland, but not as much as energy does, right? And water.
I've been helping them with the whiskey.
So, yeah, so that started then. That made Cameron feel all cocksure of himself. And as part of the 2015 general election, so that UKIP didn't win any seats, promised the Eurosceptics a referendum on Europe. That was his worst move. That was his bad move. Because he probably did that thinking, well, I won in Scotland, didn't I? I won in Scotland, and so therefore I can win here as well. Nah. And that went shit-shaped, because Boris Johnson, the lying twat that he is, basically said, I'm going to get a lot of PR out of this if I go with the Leave as opposed to with the Remain. So he jumped ship at the 11th hour and 59 minutes. Now, here's the thing about Boris Johnson, right? I'm going to quote Jonathan Pye here. If you voted for Boris Johnson and you didn't believe all of the information about him, you are thick. If you voted for him but did believe all the information about it, you are complicit in all of the issues this country has at this point in time, right? So there you go, another hairy cow. There's bloody millions around here.
This is hairy cow country, obviously.
So they won the European Union, the Leavers, even though they hadn't a Scooby-Doo.
There was no plan.
There was no plan.
They did not expect to lose.
They did not expect to win the Leave campaign.
Well, the Remain didn't expect to lose.
Remain, yeah, absolutely. Remain didn't expect to lose.
The Leave didn't expect to win.
Right?
You could see that in the faces of the people who went like, oh, fuck.
Now we've got to do something about it. And then Cameron did the biggest chicken shit thing he could do, which was resign the following day. He just went, I'm just going to retire in a bunkhouse in Cornwall and count my money and write my memoirs.
It's like a shed film.
It was some sort of shed, I don't know.
Toodly-poo, off I go.
Yeah,
and just sang himself a little ditties. It's like, fuck the country.
Yeah.
Off to count my money.
And therefore, you know, that is just traitorous, right? So that left poor old Theresa May. Now, I didn't actually have anything good to say about Theresa May, but neither did I have anything bad to say about Theresa May.
Not as incompetent as David Cameron.
Not as incompetent as David Cameron.
I'm going A95 here, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to be turning all right. Well, I think it's not a turn right. I think it's more of a... Oh, it is a turn right.
Oh, fuck's sake.
No, you're going left there, mate.
No, left, I want to go.
You want to go left?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well done, lad.
Happy pause.
Happy pause. Happy pause.
Happy pause.
There you go.
I think I might even get away with fifth here.
Woohoo! Right, where are we up to? So Theresa May, she wasn't that bad, she wasn't that good. She had dissent in the party almost immediately because the Brexiteers went, we can really shaft the country now by basically saying, let's go for a general election, have a hard Brexit, whatever that meant. And they did what they did, right? And we all know the history of it. But here's point number one. In this country, England in general, it takes roughly about 9 months to buy and sell a house, right?
Just a reminder, right, we're in Scotland.
We're in Scotland, mate. It might take the same amount of time, it might take less, who knows, I don't know. But it can take between 6 and 9 months to buy a house, right? And the average house price in this country, in the UK, is £250,000. Now think about that. 6 to 9 months, £250,000, right? Britain is a £1 trillion economy. And was, maybe, could still be it. And the Brexiteers thought, oh, we'll just fucking do it overnight. It's not a problem, don't worry. Theresa May, on the other hand, went, whoa, that's not a good idea, guys. But they went, fuck you, we don't care, you're not very impressed. So she went to a general election and nearly lost it and got into a grace and favours deal and £1 billion with the DUP. Is it DUP?
DUP, yeah.
Yep, DUP.
Confidence and supply.
Confidence and supply. Which didn't go very well because of the old Irish border thing and the Good Friday Agreement.
Nearly fought it through our DNA.
So again, Brexiteers hadn't got a fucking clue. It was just they were having a game of backgammon and that they didn't know how to play, right? So Theresa May was out about a year later, and Boris fucking DeFaffle Johnson turned up. Oh my god. Right. Bear this in mind. Allegedly, he might not know how many children he has fathered. Right? Allegedly. Because when asked the question, don't actually know where we're going.
It's alright, figured it out.
Okay, good. He might actually know and he wants to keep that private, and fair enough, right? But think about this. He was knobbing somebody in his house whilst his wife at the time, right, was having treatment for cancer. And people in their droves voted for him.
I don't think that was well known though, was it?
No, it was well known. It was in all the papers that didn't vote for Boris Johnson. It was there. It's a fact, right? It's not libelous because that's what he was doing. As well as giving extra backhanders to the pole dancer entrepreneur from America. So, allegedly.
This is a long thing.
But the point I'm trying to make, well then, so you screwed up there. We had COVID. All the problems we've got now are because of Brexit, right? You've probably got a bit there due to COVID, a bit there due to the Ukraine war. But let's put it this way. Food prices are still going up, right? In Europe, they're going down. Oh, I wonder why that is. Anyway, a bit further on.
Yeah, it's this one.
Yep. Glenfiddich Estate. Ooh.
Well, because like I say, it's fine to...
Snow Road Scenic Route. So yeah, that's where we are on politics. Keir Starmer, on the other hand...
So he was helping me make sure I was going the right way.
Keir
I've no idea what
Starmer...
I'm in terms of road position here, Bob. I'm out.
well, it's kind of too late.
Sort of too late,
but just sort of stay here, just keep away from the left. So in terms of, so what's left? We've got a general election coming up next year, and I would implore everybody to vote tactically just to get these charlatans out, because the
So vote
Tories
tactically mean don't vote for the Tories.
don't vote for the Tories in whatever you do. You know, if you are a Labour person but there is more chance of a Green person or a Lib Dem person, club together, do it. If you're a Lib Dem or a Green but there's more chance of a Labour person coming in, do it. Vote Labour. Hold your nose and tick that box. They have got to come out. They have been destroying this country, this fabulous, wonderful, stunning, beautiful, amazing country called the British Isles. Well, countries, islands and all the rest of it. Yep. Wales, Scotland, Ireland. I'll even throw Cornwall in there as well. The manufacturing that used to happen in the north of England, all gone because of the Tories and their favid fault finding of following the Minford formula, the Liverpool formula, which basically means we only have services in this country. We don't actually do anything else for ourselves. We just buy it in. Great idea if you're a part of Europe. Not so good if you're just on your own. You're a shitty little island in between the North Atlantic and the North Sea. Not a great idea. Get them out. 40 years of betrayal, 40 years of selling off the England to Britain to the lowest bidder. We've got to get them out. Do whatever you can.
Profess to love the country whilst ruining the country.
Yeah.
So.
It's all bollocks. Flag shaggers, the lot of them. Fuck them. Get them out.
Flag shaggers.
And that is my thing on politics today. Anything to add there, Steve? Right turn coming up.
Not all the political views expressed in this video.
Yeah, can actually be.
I don't know. It feels like that was almost your pitch to be an MP.
No, I wouldn't want to be an MP, because the only MP that you could become to actually do anything good would be Labour, and they have such a protracted way of getting somebody in. There's no point. The reason why Labour have run out of ideas is because they predominantly bring in ex-councillors, right?
Fucking wrong, the way it puts that.
And people from unions, which I've got no problem with unions, but they've got no new ideas. Yeah, nothing, right? Corbyn brought in the playbook of the 70s, right? So what? Things have moved on, change, right? Bring in real, lasting, proper change to this country. Corbyn didn't have a plan for it. Starmer hasn't got a plan, but it's got to happen. It really does.
I don't know, I like that nice Mr. Corbyn.
I don't like Mr. Corbyn because A, he looks like the modern parent out of this. And what they did in Trees and how they tormented their son, I just can't deal with that. And he's another one. Just piousness about him. Reminds me of a Church of England vicar.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I think he was a force for change, but you know,
No.
I know a lot of people disagree.
He wouldn't have been allowed. That's the problem.
He promised everyone free broadband, and I think that's a basic human right. So.
Well, I think it is a utility, and again, nationalising everything.
Sorting the trains.
Here is my thing. If you can have competition, real competition, yes, by all means, let it be private, let it be legislated by the government. Got no problems with that. If you can't, then it should be nationalised. E.g., railways, right? If I want to go to Leeds, I can get 2 different types of train, right? But the reality is, they're all using the same frigging train line, all right? Pointless. Water. Water? Right. I live in Yorkshire. Can I get Scottish water connected up? No. Can I get Kent water connected? No. It's only Yorkshire water I can get, right? No competition. Zero. Private investment, bollocks. It's done nothing for them, right? What's the other one? Energy. Laughable. Absolutely laughable. Again, it might be generated by all these different suppliers, but I can't have, when it all goes into the system, you don't know where it's come from. That's all they're charging you for. It's a ridiculous notion, right? What else? So water, energy, trains. Steady on, mate.
Steady on. Right. Oh, I was paying attention.
It's a greasy road. Right. Remember that on your bikes, greasy roads?
Yeah, but you can't skid off a bike. Well,
Yeah, you can skid off a bike.
no, I mean, you can't. You've got 4 wheels. On a bike, you worry about sliding off the road. You don't have to worry about that, this.
Yeah,
4 wheels.
Yeah, you do.
No, I've got 4 wheels.
You do.
Great. This is like a roller coaster, this one.
It is what he said. Right, what else is there?
We've already got an hour's footage still.
Oh, right, so last thing, broadband, I wasn't 100% convinced about that. Maybe there should be again, legislate to the private sector. Right, you have to have a minimum option for people that is basically, 10 meg, and that can be just the price of your telephone line, and that's it.
Hey, no, it should be free. That was the point.
I don't think it should have been free.
No, it should be fucking free.
No, because we've always paid. No,
these days, right?
No,
if you want
hang
to
on
go
a
and
minute.
find a job,
Hang on a
you have
minute.
to go online.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
You want to go and buy something?
Hang
you've
on.
got to go
Whoa. Right. So, as far as I can remember, right, even when British Telecom was in nationalised hands, you still had to pay a price for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
So
the broadband should be completely free.
no.
Oh, hang on, no, you're saying price, you're paying for the telephone line.
You're paying for the telephone line, and you're getting broadband with it, right?
Yeah, all right, fair
So
enough.
therefore, you're getting the easiest thing there, which is 10 meg.
Well, I'm not going to work out how everyone gets free broadband. I'm not that clever.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I would say the cheapest broadband that you can get would give you 5 meg or 10 meg, right? And that is the equivalent of £15 a month.
Just think of all those teenagers looking for porn. They need the broadband.
I don't give a shit about teenagers looking for porn, right? Just get out more.
I'll find you in the woods.
Yeah, that's what I did.
We'll hunt some wild
That's what I did. Just go out in the woods, find some nutty mag. Right, see you later, mate.
Holy bloody moly.
So Steve's taken on the big fucking wagon. Don't you like it when they come over?
See, you mocked me for driving in the left hand side, but I think I was in the right then.
Did I say anything about that then? No. So we've come on a stretch of road which has been nicknamed the roller coaster, and it is. And Steve's driving it, so it's
Slightly hair raising.
no, it's not actually, because he's keeping to. It's really good practice for him.
Fucking hell. That bit there when it went up and down. Oh, right, that was steep. But by the time, it was a really stunning bit of driving I've been doing there, but unfortunately,
It was.
the
Didn't
camera
get
were facing the wrong
wrong
way.
way.
And by the time you got it turned around, we'd gone past it up.
I'm sure there'll be other bits. So at the moment it's nice and it's sort of piney round here, and
Sure, we should get around this bend and we'll see if we can go up again.
it's piney, it's twisty, it's misty, because we're up in the hills now, I'd say. Sun is trying to come out again.
I can feel some warmth coming out, but I think it's coming out of the heaters.
Yeah. So one of the things we will say about this car, it's got excellent heaters, really good heaters.
This guy behind me must be itching to go past. So, it's one of ours, is it?
Yeah, it's one of ours.
So we'll let him past.
Get round the corner and then
Fucking hell. I'm trying to find some way to let him past, but it's a bit. Boss man, Timmy's went past us. Oh my word. Yeah, I felt I was holding him up.
yeah.
And I was a bit. Because I'm not worried about coming off the road, that's not what bothers me. I worry about running into somebody coming the other way.
Oh right, okay. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah.
So when I'm I'm slowing down it so I can like tuck myself over if needs be. It's funny what you get scared of, isn't it?
It is.
Especially as you get old.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin my day and somebody else's day by heading on. You can see I was over the line, he was over the line, and we're like, who's going to give way? Right, which way are we going here? Braymore, 90 feet. Welcome to the Malt Whiskey Trail. Now look, if we can't find a distillery down here, something's gone wrong.
Well, let's see. It's nearly 11:15.
Oh, it's fucking raining. We're still filming?
Still filming, yep.
Yeah, alright.
It's 11:15. Scotland has different licensing hours in the UK than the rest of the UK. So if we find a distillery, chances are it will be closed. And even if we were to find a distillery, we wouldn't be able to buy any whiskey from there until 12 o'clock.
Oh, I should have stayed in for. Oh well.
So yeah, I'll switch that down a bit.
Good God, I actually found it.
Bloody hell! The only downside about this SLK that we found so far is going from 6th to 4th or 4th or 5th to
Anything
4th.
to 4th.
And
Third to 4th, sorry.
Third or 4th is alright. It's only when you're coming down. It's not that it's temperamental. It's a bit sort of. It could be there or it could be here as you change down. It's caught me out a number of times. It's certainly caught out Steve. So that's why I'm not going to comment about that particular gear change. This is lovely. Yeah, Matt Monroe. That's what we should try and find for one last bit of Matt Monroe, and hope we don't find any Scottish mafia.
Scottish mafia
tunnel.
probably does exist.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, we weren't giving any road. He was pushing me over.
Yeah.
I didn't want to crash into the fucker.
If you don't understand the width of your car, you shouldn't be driving. It's as simple as that. Doggies!
Is that a comment on me or to them?
No, it's to them. You're still learning, even though you're up to like doing.
Oh, it's Tom and Tool. So there's a whiskey shop here, Bob.
Is it?
What time is it?
It's 11:15.
It's Monday though, isn't it?
It's Monday,
11 o'clock
but it's
might be
also bank holiday.
If the whiskey shop's open, I'm going for that.
Is that your phone telling you there's a whiskey shop nearby?
No, that's the phone telling me that somebody's going out of the house. Probably Jasmine taking Memphis for the walk.
Ah, right.
Thank you for waiting.
Discovery sensor, seasonal.
Should be like.
Oh dear. There's Whiskey Castle.
Am I in a position I could consider parked?
Yeah, well.
The Whiskey Castle's open, Bob.
Is it?
This is the whiskey shop.
Okay. Let's at least put the lid down.
That's it, you've told me. So you'll see this as we turn out. We just stopped here at the Whiskey Castle, which I can recommend.
Are we going right?
I think we're going left here.
Left here.
Braymore, Dufftown, again 39. Continue on the old nose for A939. I think this is where we're going.
Oh, we're going this way now.
Oh yeah. So we stopped to the Whiskey Castle. So I bought a bottle of whiskey, which is probably not. Yeah, this is one Braymore, Cockbridge and Laft. I'm not going to give me that. My dad that. He can share it with me. That's all right because it was more than £50. How's that? Did you like that? Draft on the Alford and the Aberdeen. Oh, I thought they were distilleries, but they're just places. So yeah, we stopped there, bought some whiskey. Although I would be allowed to drive until 12 o'clock. I've ruined it by testing whiskey, so now I'm not allowed to drive anymore. Which means, obviously, if we do go to the distillery, I'm allowed to drink it, and you just have to watch. But it did say the Blair Raffle, if you do the tour, they will give you jars of whiskey to take with you.
Oh, that's alright.
So at least you can take some back. But the woman in the shop, she saw me coming, obviously.
Hook, line and sinker.
Yeah, classic line of pitting two. She chose two whiskies to pit together. They took single cask one, which is the one they've bottled, I'm assuming, some local distillery. Probably Tomato distillery. It was Oakleven or something like that, weren't it?
Yeah.
Tried one which was a local one again. It was like pitted one. It was a sherry cask. One was, bottle whiskey strength, 43%, and the one she pitted against was cask strength at 54%. And she knew what kind of sucker I was, because obviously I went for the more expensive of the two. And I've had what I can only describe as like a fraction of a thimbleful. Oh no, boy, can I feel the benefit already.
It's almost like a little perkiness about you.
Yeah, I feel quite cheerful. I've got some colour to my cheeks. So yeah, we're back on the route now. So according to the book, we says we're going to go towards the Lake Ski Centre through the Cairngorms. We're past Cock Bridge, and I think this is a thing where you're supposed to take a picture. I think that's the challenge. Yep. So we go for that. And it's like, now I've got a bit of whiskey and a bit of courage. I'm like, maybe we should do a moonie next to the town. Is it?
If you want to do that,
maybe not. I don't want to get arrested. So yeah, up on the tops. So Ian, who's the host, I will say, the host, the organiser,
the lead
as well. He was saying this is his favourite day driving, and I can see why. I mean, although I'm not by any means a distinguished driver, that last bit was a bit like a roller coaster, bumps and turns and twists and things. I really enjoyed driving that.
Yeah.
And I probably would be enjoying driving this bit if I like stuck my face full of whiskey. So still a tolerance up here though, so if you get caught and you're over the limit, you're buggered.
Yeah.
And the limit is not very high. Even though I'm a large gentleman and I can probably soak it up, I'm not going to chance it.
Yeah. Plus the fact you're also a learner.
And I'm a learner, yeah, that like a fucking utterly double whammy that one would be, wouldn't it? So sir, is this your car? Well, yes. And you are a learner? Yes. And you've been drinking whiskey? Yes. Yeah, alright.
It's a fair cop.
I don't want to be like avoiding bending down to pick up the soap, so I think I'll stick with not driving. What?
Nothing.
It's a prison thing, don't drop the soap.
Yeah.
Or you may get a surprise. So yeah, we'll enjoy this bit of road here. Again, it's old military road. As Bob said, they were taking the country. First they made sure the militaries get everywhere, and then everyone else is allowed to use it.
Yep.
But this is
in the thing of history ever since the Roman times.
Romans had the right idea.
Yeah, bloody Christians. This is where I state I'm a devout agnostic.
A devout agnostic, you take it very seriously.
Yeah.
I think it's every man's right, a woman's right to believe in whatever they want to believe and all the rest of it. Just don't shove it down everybody else's throat.
Yeah, don't shove it down.
He says, expressing his opinion and pushing down everybody's throat.
Yep.
I do see the irony in this. But this looks good, don't it? It's in between mountains. Now I know, like I said, because I came up here totally by accident on the bike. That's how I knew about the Whiskey Castle. And we will see it at some point at the side of the mountain there, chairlift. And it's obviously not skiing season, there's no blooming snow around this time of year, well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right, the traction control's pretty good on this actually.
No, you were telling me every time because the roads were slipping.
Yes, but
is it good but not that good?
Yeah. I mean, I have to feel for that guy, but then at the same time I can't. So, one of the chaps on the run, you might have seen it, is in a beautiful blue BMW M5. One of the early 2000 models. It is absolutely stunning. It's been really looked after by.
Oh yeah,
whoever's
well,
done it.
so because you were like saying, has it been resprayed? And so we got to it, it's like, no, that's
No,
original.
that's original. Right?
Really good, Nick.
Really good, Nick. And then at the start of each rally, you know, you kind of go. It's not that they encourage you. They don't.
Oh no, this morning, yeah, I forgot about that.
But you do get a feeling. At the start of a rally, I'm just going to gun it. This guy gunned it and put it into a hedge and smashed up his front bumper.
Yeah, it looked like he crashed it because there was a hole.
Yeah,
because I was trying to work out what had happened, and it looked like he'd driven out through the hedge. But I think he'd gone into it going the other way.
What had happened is, I suspect he'd gunned it. It got grip, didn't get grip. And then he got a tank slapper and went straight into the high curbs at the Morris.
Can you have a tank slapper in a car?
Yeah, you can have tank slappers in anything.
I thought it was a motorbike thing, because like, you know, the handlebar slap the tanks, hence tank slapper.
Well, maybe that's where the phrase comes from, but people use it for cars as well. Oh, this is...
That looks like, yeah, that is a chairlift.
That's a chairlift.
This is the one, I think this is the one I come past. You can't see the top of it because it just vanishes up into the hills.
Yeah.
Where it's misty mountain, it's those low flying clouds, Bob. What are clouds made of?
Water.
Yes. No, wet.
Wet. That's
made of wet.
They're made of wet.
If you need an angel's tearing your whiskey here, you just hold it out the window for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like the ski village.
Hollifick Hollis.
Welcome to Aberdeenshire. So yeah, there's probably not much film in this because it's just fog there.
Oh look, tractor tanks.
Snowcats.
Dunside, you've done the upside, now you're doing the Dunside.
You've done the Dunside. Look at that, it's just suddenly cleared into you, out to the clouds. So yeah, so we'll carry on to Cockbridge. We need a picture of us doing something ridiculous at the Cockbridge sign. Don't worry, we'll manage to manage that. And then we'll have a talk about whiskey in a bit.
There's a bit of snow over there.
Yeah. Not enough to ski on though, is it?
Yeah.
Snow poles outside the road, yes. He's slowing down to let us pass, or because he's just going slow, I don't know.
Yeah, if they could let us pass by actually sheep on road.
Oh, everyone's going a bit slow here. I think that we're just having oh my god, they're just stopping, slowing down to have a look at the scenery. And you can see the road twisting and turning around the valley. We can see it disappearing off the hill over there, so we're going to be over there in a bit.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is, I think we're back to Majestic.
Majestic.
Spectacular.
This is Majestic Rolling Hills.
Fan dabby dozy. Are you? He's pulling over for the nosy. Well, there we go. Nice safe overtake there, I like that. Very visible brake there. Everybody's pulling over to take a look at stuff.
Well, having the dogs having a wee, perhaps?
I don't know, they're holding it up, which was kind of weird. They were airing the dog.
Airing the dog.
Head of the dog, airing the dog.
Wow, look at this.
This is something, isn't it? This is the problem, I'm going to have so much footage because of every time you go like, oh, I'll turn the camera off. Oh, we're not turning the camera off. I thought that was a fellow SLK for a second there, but it's not.
Yeah. The watchers.
The watchers. So yeah, we'll stop there. Oh my word.
God, 20 incline. Slow.
Yeah, take time. There's a bit of a weave here. But we'll stop here, then we'll come back in a bit. I'm going to put the camera on for this as we come down this hillside here, because the sun's suddenly popped up and come to life. And we're rolling downhill towards this lovely, like, mountain kind of chicane coming up. But even at the curb, you're more than left than I am. With a procession of cars stuck behind this bloody van. It's somewhere's holiday home, look.
With a dog in it back a bit.
Don't just go and step on a highlight. So yeah, this is stunning. So it's sad because we put the roof up because it was spitting, weren't it? Definitely
Drizzle.
spitting,
It's that
drizzling.
very wet rain that gets you really wet.
Yeah, stupid wet rain. Don't like it. I prefer the dry rain myself. But yeah, so the sun's come out, so I think we might take the opportunity to pop the roof at some point. I think we get to Cock Bridge and take a picture. That's the roof down opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you were right. These are some lovely roads. It's just a shame it's ruined by the traffic. I'm going to come around this mountainside here and have yet another stunning view. Oh man, you can see the road all the way across. Look at it.
Oh yeah.
I could have driven this, but it's about 20 mile an hour. Over the top. Doom past the Boffy. I think I'm starting to pick up the dialect.
Is that because you've had some whiskey?
Yep, I'm now about 2% more Scottish. And if I have a glass of that later on, I'll be 56% Scottish. Right, we'll pause there and save some of the reel for later. Well, we'll film this one since it's an interesting one. A tiny little skinny road, the B976, going towards Balmoral Castle. Once upon a time I said, we'll see if we can spot the Queen, but she's dead, unless she's haunting a place.
Deed.
Dead. She's dead.
Dead.
She's dead. She's an ex-queen. She is no more.
Yeah.
Deceased. So, obviously me and Bob are huge royalists. Can't wait for the coronation. We're a big fan of coronation chicken crisps.
Yep. Or coronation chicken sandwich.
Yep.
I like that.
They're okay with that.
Quiche, going a bit too far.
No,
with that. Don't mind quiche.
It's not the quiche.
But doing it as like a chicken coronation quiche, no thank you.
Yeah, you could have come up with something like that. Coronation curry I'd have been able to get going. Coronation burger and chips.
Yeah.
It's not very kingly, is it? But you know. Coronation steak.
We were right. So just then we were trying to get a picturesque photograph, and with the roof down, and it just absolutely the heavens open. So it's a bit damp in here at the moment.
Oh, it's wet in here.
Got the heaters on full blast, which is a bit toasty warm.
But we had to go and find Cock Bridge as well,
Cock
didn't we?
Bridge.
Which we think they've sold as a pub.
Cock.
So there is a bridge there. We finally found the bridge, and on the bridge it does say Cock Bridge, but it's very faint sign. But it looks like there've been road signs there, but obviously, no doubt causing a nuisance, people pulling up and taking pictures. So the signs have gone. So we think that might be a red herring, but then we're not sure. Maybe the red herring is if you take a picture, you lose points. I don't know.
No, I don't. They're stingy with the points, but I don't think they're that bad.
He's stingy with the points. That young lad.
Let's not go to him today. Right?
Yeah, I'm not using him. The other fella makes me laugh. Or Ian, I think to be the fair, but yeah, he won't give us points for jelly babies, and that's it. He's dead to me now. Dead to me, I tell you. So yeah, this is, I don't know what a palace is. God knows it's like up a blooming mountain, is it?
Yeah, well, it's all up on the moorlands and stuff, isn't it? So they can go hunting.
Hunting?
Hunting, yeah, you know, for stags.
Peasants.
And stuff. Peasants, yeah. Oh, hello, motorbikist.
You're welcome.
That was a full stop, so therefore I need to go into first.
Yeah, proper full stop that. Give that guy a nod by accident. Automatic. That nod at us as well. Fellow Merc driver. Afternoon.
He's giving it sort of. What's going on there?
What have they done to that Merc?
We've done good things.
We have done good things. We improved its horsepower.
Yep. Styling.
+5 of steering.
Yeah. +5 of steering.
That's what I'm going with. Magical steering wheel.
Oh.
I can see why the king / queen would have liked it up here though. It is beautiful.
I've gone hot now. Oof.
I read once that the Queen thinks everywhere you go smells of new paint. Why does it smell of paint everywhere I go? Maybe she's used to it, just blanks it out. Well, she's not used to it anymore. Oh my word. So yeah, these I think Ian were right. You know, he said like this is his favourite day, and I think I can see why, because this is the scenery is good.
Yeah.
The scenery is good. It's not as epic. Epic. Look
Epic,
at
we
that.
didn't use that
I'm
one.
well chuffed with that. That's a good one. But the driving is sensational.
Yeah.
All the roads on this bit have been stunning, and even this, which is like a single track road, is not. You can actually see down the road, unlike some of the sections yesterday where you could barely see round the next bend.
Apart from that bit before the bridge, you know, where we took the wrong turn, and we ended up going on that right.
Oh, yeah,
I just
well-
went, that's a lovely road.
That was a lovely road towards Kinlochie Bridge. Yeah, I love that. So it's good. So yes, we're in fine fettle. We're
Yep.
fed and watered. We're enjoying the scenery. We're enjoying the driving.
Got pie to look after later.
Award-winning pie.
Award-winning pie.
Yeah. So it's so far been a pretty good day. And then, although it's pissing it down, the car's wet through. The sun's coming out again.
Yep. No,
Scotland.
it's now drying out a bit. Yeah.
Scotland is unpredictable.
Yep.
Oh, we'll carry on for a bit. Oh, look at this bit here.
See, I'm wondering, is the reason why this road is so good is because it does head off towards Balmoral, and therefore they want to make sure it's right.
Fucking hell.
Sorry about that, guys. I think we might have lost a bit of weight there due to rust coming off it.
My body's lost weight, but my pants has gained it. Oh dear. Can't see a palace yet. Well, this is nice. Right, that's enough boring footage of royal palaces which we can't see. That will carry on to find interesting distillery in the country. So we're now on the A93 going through a forest. There you go. We're following the River Dee. Kinloch, I think it said, something like that. But this is nice. I'm appreciating the Bob standard space under these pine trees. There's a definite spacing between them, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I think this is a point I have to ask you about whiskey, Bob. What do you know about whiskey?
Right.
Well, this might take a while.
Okay.
Enjoy the scenery.
Enjoy the scenery. Right, so I'm trying to remember everything I remembered after the last whiskey tour that I took. Whiskey can only be called whiskey if it has been aged in a barrel for 3 years or more. Before that, it's basically gin, right?
Yeah.
And you can effectively just take gin is like straight distilled.
Well, it's not gin. It would just be a spirit at that
It could be a
point.
spirit, but
Because gin is spirit,
alright,
which
Jared's
has been
got
flavoured with
botanicals and blah 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 blah. But
Yeah,
effectively,
yeah.
that's what you've got.
Oh, sorry, Steve, for putting some facts in there.
Alright.
Carry on.
Steve's fact checking me here.
Yeah.
Right, so effectively, whiskey is made similar to beer to begin with in terms of fermentation until they start to distill it, where they basically do a double or triple distill. And this is basically heating up the beer which they've created,
The
using,
liquor.
or the liquor,
Yeah.
to use the phrase, and then siphon off the steam that comes off it, which is then basically turns it to the overall alcohol. And that's either done once or twice, generally twice, 3 times if you want to be a bit knobby. And effectively each distillery, particularly in Scotland, will start off with a distinct flavour depending on where they get their water from, right? So if you're going to the Lowlands or Fife around there, the distilleries around there, it will have a very natural, normal water flavour. There would not be that much in there, okay?
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to the more sort of like the Highlands and the peaty country, that's where a lot of the sort of peat flavour or the industrial coal flavour that I call it, comes from there, because they're getting their water from basically water that is filtered through a peat bog or a peat turf bog, call it what you will, which then gives it that particular distinct flavour.
I'm not sure about
Yes,
that.
it is. It
No,
is.
I'm not sure that's true.
No, it is true.
The water is important, but you've got to bear in mind is when you boil it, it
No.
will go through the distillation process.
No.
I think it depends on how they've treated the malt.
No.
I do. I think because it's
has
like beer.
nothing to do with the malt. The malt, and again, this depends on where they get their malt from. So some distilleries just basically buy in any old malt, put it through the system, and then brew up, etc., etc. Some distilleries will only use malt that is bought around their local area where the distillery is, and then how they actually then treat that malt changes. So this is where we get into the technical bit.
Stick with the A93.
Stick with the A93. Okie dokie. So in some of your highland areas, they will dry out the malt, or allow the malt to mature, so it goes into, so it sweetens. Right.
Oh, so far so be it. Yeah.
They will use sort of turf to do the drying out process. Right. What do you mean?
I'm just laughing at the idea of turf. They will use. See, and this is what I disagree with, because I don't think you're quite right.
No,
I think it's how the malt is treated, and they will use peat, and they will burn it,
peat,
and that will.
Right, let me finish.
Impart the smokiness. Is that what you were trying to say?
That's the smokiness.
Yes.
But not the flavour.
No,
right?
no.
The water is still retains part of the flavour.
I don't think that's. No, again, I don't think that's true. No, why would it? Right, stop for a minute.
Right. No. You stop.
When you distill it, you're boiling it, and only certain things will travel through that process.
Right.
If it's whatever's in the water is going to come out of that.
No, it won't. It won't.
Or be left behind.
It won't. Right. So water. So Talisker, right? That's a very peaty flavoured.
Yes. Well,
brew, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Depends which one you get.
And then you can get really stronger peaty ones.
Yeah.
That's because the water has drained through a peat bog. Right.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to challenge your understanding of chemistry by going, if all the whiskey's made with the same water, why is one more peaty than the others?
Because of where they get the water from.
But no, they do 3 different whiskies at Talisker, and some of them are not very peaty, and some of them are really peaty. So explain that if it's the water which is the factor which brings the peatiness.
Because they'll use a different water source.
This all comes up the same. Right, carry on. Keep explaining it your way.
You can look it up if you so wish.
I'm going to.
Right? By all means, look it up. Right. Then you get to the barreling and the aging process. All right. Now, depending on what flavour you want to infuse, right? Most of the barrels that we get in this country are actually bought from America. All right, using American oak or cedar or something like that. All right. And they are flamed on the inside as their first stage, and that helps to seal the barrel.
Toast it, yeah.
Right?
Water, like makes it watertight.
Yeah, makes it all nice and watertight. Right. Now, if you're using a fresh barrel done that way, then you'll get the smokiness. Right, you'll get an element of smokiness. If you're not using a fresh barrel, you'll be using a barrel that has either had sherry in there, or whiskey in there, or port in there, or rum, and that's how you get the different flavours and the different blend of flavours within the whiskey as it's maturing, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, it's one of those, after 3 years, then you can call it whiskey. As you know, there's whiskies that are 8 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old, 70 years old.
Way old, yeah.
Way old, right? And where they've got the
but that's not how long it's been in the bottle. That's how long it's been in the barrel.
That's how long it's been in the barrel.
Yeah, in the
exactly.
cask.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how you get your basically whiskey and your different flavours of whiskey.
Look at this view here. Just this is a view you should appreciate with a glass of whiskey in your hand.
Yes, absolutely. So all the different distilleries have their own unique way of blending the flavours, not so much making it, because it's a very simple way of making it, to be fair, but it's actually the aging process and the maturing process of the whiskey that gives it those unique flavours. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, people talk about the element for the angel. So when whiskey goes into the barrel to begin with, it can be anything from 55 to 65% proof. As it matures, that alcohol evaporates off and that's called the Angel Share.
Yeah.
All right. You can get two different types of the same type of whiskey at different types of volume of alcohol, because that is dependent on, you know, whether it's straight from cask or it's sort of bottle strength. So bottle strength can be anything from 40% through to about 43, 44%. Cask strength is around about 50 to 52%, which is basically it's bloody strong. Oh, there you go. That's a short description of whiskey, how they make it, how they blend it, that type of stuff. So the only question is Steve's not convinced.
No, I think
about the water.
No, in fact, I think there's a few things where
what I've missed out.
My understanding is different to yours.
Right.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just going to say my understanding is different to yours. You know, my alternative facts, if you like.
All right, Steve's alternative.
Do you know about? Okay, so I think the water is important because obviously it's going to impact the final whiskey. That's
Yep.
true. But I don't think you get that most degree of flavour out of the water. As long as it's fairly decent, you're going to be all right. And again, the reason why I say this is because a lot of whiskey starts off, as you say, almost as beer, except it's not beer as you might think it is. It's liquor, and it's liquor because they don't put hops in it. Because you don't put hops in it for flavour like you would for beer. It's basically beer but without the hops.
Yeah.
And that is your base. That is your liquor. That's what you use to start. Are you putting the roof up?
No, I want to take a picture of that.
I'm going to take a picture. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll stop there. So we've got to the beer bit. I'll explain the rest in a minute. You know what, we stopped for the nosy at the scenery because it is glorious. I think I was back to whiskey. Let me finish my story. So the water is important, but I don't think the water imports much in the way of flavour. You know, you want it to be neutral apart from anything else. The beer though is probably important because the reason you make the beer at the start is that's where you first get the alcohol into it, because your base of your whiskey is basically beer but without the hops. Now hops are used to
flavour. Well,
to flavour beer but also to preserve it, but you don't need to worry about that if you're going to make whiskey because you don't need the beer to last a long time. But you know, you're not going to use stout as a base for whiskey or anything like that, because when you distill it, much of the flavour gets lost because only certain things can carry through. But one flavour which does carry through is smoke. So if you dry your malt and you smoke your malt, and that's what you use peat for, that imparts the smokiness to it, not the distillation process, or you will pick some up from the barrels, you are right about that, if it's a fresh barrel you've toasted it, but most of it comes from the malt, and now you've smoked it to do that. At least that's how I understand it, because that's how small beer works. You think about it, you smoke the malt and that makes smoky beer. When you distill it, and you're quite right, you can sometimes distill it more than once. When you actually distill it, what you get is it comes out, you get the head, the heart and the tail based on what's happening, because when you're distilling it, what you're trying to do is get the alcohol to come through. You want that, but not necessarily all the water, because that's how it increases the strength of the alcohol. Because the alcohol will evaporate first and that will come through. But you've got to be careful, because when you distill it, the stuff which comes off at the start, the head, that will be ethanol and methanol, and that's the stuff where if you drink it, you would first of all go blind and then you would die. So you actually want to get rid of that stuff, because it contains all the nasty chemicals and things which is bad. And ironically, that's the stuff which also will give you a horrible hangover if there's anything present in the final whiskey. So you generally discard the head. The heart is where you get much more ethanol, and that is the strongest part of the alcohol which comes through, and that's quite desirable. That's the stuff which makes good whiskey, because that's what you're looking for, strong spirit. And the tail, well, that's when it starts to peter off, and what you tend to get there is the strength is down, it's got more water in it. You will probably keep hold of that tail, and in fact what you do is you put that back through the process. You run that through the distillate again, because again you're trying to increase the strength of the alcohol. So you would use the tail, but again some of that's discarded for reasons because it doesn't taste very nice and all the rest of it. So what you're left with then is you get your spirit, and depending when you've kind of got it off, because it's like a fractional process, what they actually do is they blend that, and they're blending that to try and get to their target kind of strength. Because some of the stuff which comes out like of the heart, that's quite strong, some of the tails are a lot weaker. if you put a lot of the weaker stuff in, you're actually diluting it. You don't want to do that. You want it to be fairly strong. And as you said, that's when you put it into the barrels, it evaporates. Some of that alcohol evaporates off. So I'm guessing when it goes in, they want to aim for a target of about 50-odd%ish, knowing over time it will actually dissipate. When you talk about cask strength, that's why. So cask strength is, when it comes out of the cask, it's pretty damn strong, and you can buy cask strength whiskey, like that stuff we bought, that's 54%. That's pretty bulky, is that?
Yep.
But you know, it can be anywhere between 47, 50 odd, and it's pretty damn potent. But generally what they do for bottling is they actually water it down slightly to get to about 44 or less percent, so between 35-40%, and that's why when you buy whiskey in a bottle, sometimes you'll find it isn't about that kind of strength. Then you're right, ironically that spirit may have some flavour to it, so it might be smoky because you've used smoke on your malts or whatever it is that you process. But really the flavour of the whiskey then comes from the barrels you put it in. So you'll hear people say it's got a sherry cask or sherry finish. That's because it's been aged in sherry barrels. You also have port barrels, bourbon barrels, as you say. So you get bourbon barrel aged whiskey and all the rest of it. And again, it depends what whiskey you buy. Like today we bought single cask whiskey. It's only been sat, stored, matured in a single cask, and the whiskey you get is all out of that single cask. But again, a lot of distillers actually brew from different casks to get to your final thing, and it's not blended whiskey, it's still single malt, it's still from the same malt and the same thing, made at the same distillery, but they will blend it for different flavours. So you know, you might get like I've got the Auchentoshan, and that's free wood because some of it's aged in one kind of barrel and then it's moved to another kind of barrel, and it sits in those barrels for different lengths of time, or they've blended the barrels from that place together. Now you might be going, hang on, it's blended, but it's single malt. Well, blended whiskey is typically taken from multiple distilleries and multiple sources, and they blend that together to get to a kind of thing. It's generally seen as, here we go, seen as inferior to single malt for whatever reason. You can get really good blended whiskey. In fact, a lot of one-off stuff is blended anyway, but in different ways. And that's my understanding of whiskey, which is slightly different to yours.
So now, I shall end that.
I'm not saying I'm right or wrong or whatever.
I shall end that on saying, well, in that case then,
you may challenge it.
The tour guide at the King's Barn was talking shite.
Well, I mean, I'm only going on the two distillery tours I've been on and stuff I've learned off the internet. And, you know, again, it's second-hand knowledge. I am not a professional distiller. I am a brewer. I know how to brew beer, and I make smoked beer and different kinds of beer. And I've been fascinated by it. And I was thinking about, you know, learning how to distill, because you can buy your own distillery kits. It's not strictly legal, but you can do it, but it's really bloody complicated. Anyway, we are now at the Glenshee Ski Centre, as you can see on the camera. This is the place they recommend to stop and have a brew and a bite to eat, so I think we'll have a brew and a bite to eat.
We'll have a brew. We've got them pies though.
Oh yeah, we have them. What do you want to do? Do you want to get a cup of tea or fetch you that? Or do you want to take the pies in? I don't know, it might get twitchy if we take the pies in.
Well, I'll get a brew to take out. And,
let's do that. Right, we'll get a brew to take out and then we'll hot bite. See you in a tick. So I'm not saying that I'm right and Bob's wrong, but
clearly the distillery I went to, I was either not paying attention, which wouldn't be the first time, or
shut up and let me get a whiskey tasting.
Or yeah, it could have been that, but it appears I am wrong.
Yeah, I've looked it up, and the way they make, you get the peat and smoke flavour into whiskey is, as I said, they use peat fires to dry the malted barley. So there you go.
Fair enough.
Anyway, we didn't put the camera on just to tell you that, although I did. We did it because we come down this valley and took one look at it, and it's rather exciting, a shot of this guy in an Audi poodling. Fucking hell, man. We did it because we just looked down this valley, we could see the sun in the distance. We've got the roof down again, you can tell by the noise, and it just looked impressive. So enjoy the view. It's good you can't see my smug face.
And it is incredibly smug.
But the research I did was more accurate.
No, you pay attention to this shit because you brew yourself. That's
well, I'm always fascinated by. Oh my word! I'm always fascinated how stuff's made, especially if I can drink it. It's important to flipping egg. Do you know we talk about driving a bit seat of your pants? now I feel it.
I'm just driving a little bit on the spirited side.
This road's a bit uppy downy. So talking of whiskey, we have now locked in to the Blair Athol Distillery, which is near Pitt locally. That is going to be our next stop. So we will we'll ask the fella there. Well, we'll see what he says about it, and he can correct all the things we got wrong, and we'll correct you, so you're also now in possession of the actual facts, not something that somebody's told us which is bollocks.
Yeah.
Motorcycles. Oh, this is a bike road. This is why you've seen so many bikes. Look at it. Also, my ears have popped. I think we've descended about 1,000 feet in the last 5 seconds. Good fun. Right, we'll see you at the distillery. Hey! So we've just pulled up here. Look, stopped. Cars in one piece. This has got because this is the Blair Athol Distillery and Visitor Centre. But the most important thing about this is it's open and it sells whiskey. So we're going to go and have a look, aren't we, Bob?
Yes, we are.
That's all we've wanted for the best God knows how many days. I mean, we have bought some whiskey because we went to a whiskey shop.
Yeah, Steve, as soon as we spot any whiskey shops, Steve goes, pull over.
Let's go and have a look.
Go and have a look.
I've only bought 2 bottles. But I like to get one straight from the distillery, so we're going to go and have a nose in there. I'll tell you what, it's got like a nice thing.
You see, that's why.
That's the whiskey coming out, which they don't like. That's when they get rid of it. Right, I'm going to have a wander around here. I'm not sure I'll be allowed to film in there, so I'll stop there and go. We'll let you know if it's any good once we come out. Right, we've just done a taste and I've had the 12-year-old followed by the 23-year-old, and I can tell you the 23-year-old is pretty damn good. But I should imagine it's in terms of cost effectiveness, Bob, I think the 23-year-old is probably a damn sight more expensive, isn't it?
What's that?
Of the 2 whiskies, the 23-year-old and the 12-year-old. The 12-year-old I reckon is going to be cheaper.
Nah.
We're going to have a look. The very exclusive one, the one you can only get here, was £120 and you had to bottle it yourself. And whilst I do like the gimmick, and I would like to go on the tour, I'm not certain I'm going to go £120. But we're going to see how much the 12-year-old is.
I might.
So we'll just stop here, and obviously we definitely didn't buy anything in the shop, did we, Bob?
Nope.
No, we didn't buy anything. No, definitely didn't buy anything.
Not at all.
We just went in for a look. So we tried the 12-year-old whiskey, well I did.
Yeah.
And the 23-year-old whiskey, and I can tell you was very nice.
Yep.
And highly recommend it. I come here because 1, it's open, and 2, they're very nice inside.
Yep.
Good knowledgeable stuff.
No, we have not bought anything.
No, definitely didn't buy anything. No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. No. We're going there just so we're not tempted to buy anything.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, ain't got no more room in the car either because Steve keeps buying stuff.
I do keep buying stuff. It's good. Definitely not whiskey though.
No, not whiskey.
No, not whiskey. There we go. So we're just rolling forwards now for fun of it. I thought.
Well, I thought
that was a bit mad. So we've just stopped at the Blair Athol Distillery.
Yep.
Where obviously we had to check the difference of opinion we got on. So I said it comes from the malt, and that was correct. And Bob said it came from the water, which apparently also can be correct.
No, it's just can be correct, is correct.
No, because you weren't paying attention too much, were you?
I was paying attention.
Because they were saying like there are some times where they'll basically have no smoked malt, which is done with peat smoke. The water, however, can pick up traces of peat because it's quite strong and thing. Yes. And when it goes through the distillate process, you can get that peat. Yes. No. When she worked at Auburn Distillery, yes, where they don't use any form of peat, but occasionally somebody would say, "Oh, I've got a note of peat in that," even though there was no peat used in any way, shape, or form. They could be making that up. Oh, we don't know. But the point of the matter is, it's like, so actually, we're both right, but I'm more right.
No. can't have more. Right, this isn't allowed doing your GCSE A.
If you intentionally want to put the smoky flavour in there,
GCSE
you smoke your malt.
GCSEs again. It's basically a case of you're either right or you're wrong. It's very binary. This.
Well, the shades of grey in this.
There's no shades of grey.
There's definitely shades of grey in this.
No, I'm not doing no.
Anyway, so we've had that conversation. I'm staying out of it now.
Right, where are we going next, young Steve?
We're going out of here and we're going to go down to a place called Kenmore.
Kenmore.
And then after Kenmore, then we go to Ochnachloik,
right,
Almondbank, and finally Perth. So we'll be back at that stage.
So more importantly, left or right?
Left here.
Okay.
Back towards day 9, unfortunately, but you know, all that fun and stuff. So I'm going to stop here to save the camera in case we come across some nice views, because we are now running out of memory card storage. Not tape, because this is the 2020s.
Right.
So we'll keep an eye for some nice scenery. If not, we'll just have an end of the day thing. Because I'm having drunk half a gallon of whiskey. It's all good. Also, my hair was amazing when we stopped. It's going to be amazing again, no doubt. See you there.
So we've stopped here, just to do a little bit of a leg break.
At Kenmore, in front of Loch Tay. Loch Tay.
Okay. We thought we'll stop here because it's got a nice bit of scenery. You might be able to see behind us.
Behind the Hula Girl is the lovely loch.
This is a very short piece to camera. Sort of to say, you know, one of the reasons why we're doing it is, it was an adventure, and it has been an adventure.
It has been an adventure.
It's been fun, there's been laughs, silliness, and all the great stuff. And one of the other reasons was for raising money for our two charities, Blood Cancer UK and Special Effects. And for those who haven't watched the first one, the reason why I support Blood Cancer UK is because I was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma 10 years ago. I went through about 2.5 years worth of treatment, and you know, some people do marathons, some people do triathlons, stuff like that, long distance runs. I've done all of them. And on the sort of 10th anniversary of survival, I just decided I want to do something like this instead, because it's a bit more me. Because one of the things when you get diagnosed with cancer is, or it's certainly been the case for me, is that actually you just want to be normal again. Yeah, you want to, it's always going to be there. The shadow is always going to be there, right? So doing something like this is a beautiful distraction. You know, you got to pay your bills, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to get your kids through school, so on and so on and so forth, all that stuff, right? So every now and again you just want to be normal, you just want to be yourself again, and you can't turn back time, can't do that. So doing something like this for Blood Cancer UK, who do a lot of research into blood cancers, because there's a lot of them out there. Follicular lymphoma is only one of 42 different types of lymphoma cancer. I think follicular lymphoma is something like the second largest, and it's always there, it's always going to be there. I'm not cured, it will flare up again at some other point, but until that happens again, I'm just going to enjoy stuff. So thank you for all your donations to Blood Cancer UK. It's been greatly appreciated by myself, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it too. So thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Steve.
And obviously my chosen charity is Special Effects, who help people who have disabilities, who can't play video games normally because of whatever reason, to find a way to do that. Now in my day job I make video games, so obviously I want people to enjoy what we make and have pleasure from it, and they find ways to help people who can't play games to do it, which, okay, you might say is not that important, and you know, but you know, everyone has a right to enjoy their life and get some enjoyment out of something, and the fact that they can help people who are otherwise unable to do other things to enjoy something, I think is super special. And again, all I can say is massive thank you for everyone's donated. We've been surprised by the generosity and the amounts, and you know, I know all the people who've done it. We've seen the comments on Just Giving, and I just want to say a massive thank you. My plan is when we sell this car, I will donate some of that to proceeds if we get anything for it into the charity as well. So, you know, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is as well. So I'm not the only one, but you know, you guys have made it special for us. And it's massively
through Facebook and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm hope we've entertained you.
There's been some entertainment. Questionable. I missed me losing my hat, but it's been special. So yeah, thank you very much. I mean, as I mentioned, it's right to a close. We've still got another couple of hours to go, but you know, we did want to take time to say that because it's been important, you know, and it's kept us encouraged to keep doing silly videos and silly things, because we thought, well, we can share it with everybody, and if somebody's enjoyed it and wants to put that in the pocket, you know, that is the best thank you of all. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye now.
So we've just come out of Kenmore, and the route sends you up a road normally you would never consider something you would go up, because it looks like somebody's drive, and it's going around a bunch of hairpins and climbing up this hill. At the bottom it says snow and grit, deep drifts for 5 miles if it's running. It also says not suitable for caravans or motorhomes or anything big, I would say. And you know, I can see why they would say that, because this is, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but we are going uphill and it is steep. So this is an interesting route to the top.
This is one of those that you set your sat nav to take the shortest route somewhere,
And it will take
you the shortest route, and this is one of them.
This is the shortest route, yeah. So if the sat nav sends you up here, you know, unless you wanted to come up here, you'd think twice, wouldn't you? Right, back to the left. Oh my god. So yeah, so this was promised to be one of the interesting things. The navigation bit here is quite tricky. So we are 1 hour and 9 minutes on Perth according to the map provided by the organisers. Wow, okay, yeah, just a bit. So we'll pause because we're trying to observe the tape, and we'll see what this takes us to. We've just got to show you the top of this hill where we've just come up. There appears to be like eagles flying up in the air. We've just gone past a boffy, because I imagine if you get stuck up here and it goes wrong, you need somewhere to kind of crash out. But oh my word, this is a climb and a view. From the ears pop, then we're definitely still going up. Pop. This is not a road you want to be rushing along. Yeah. But look at it. This is a treat. I'll give him that.
I haven't spotted a motorbike either. Mind you, trying to get a motorbike up that.
Nah, I come up here on a bike. This is bread and butter for Himalayan, this.
Oh yeah, I can imagine it for the Himalayan. Jeez.
GS. Oh, nice little bridge.
Not if you've got to weight it down at all.
So yeah, look at this. Up over the tops on what's barely a road. It's about as wide as a pavement.
To be fair, this road is better surface than some of the roads in Ossett. Let's put it that way.
It's better safe than most of the roads in Sheffield. But I imagine they don't see much use. You wouldn't have found this without the map.
Yeah.
We're saying like the job these guys have done putting this route together. Somebody knows their stuff and has worked very hard to work out the best way to take you to show you some of the highlights.
Cyclists, you're joking.
Well, take your time. We're not going much faster than they are anyway.
Yeah, true enough.
Enjoy the view. Alright, so we're not going to film cyclist bottoms.
Nope.
Not going to smack them, not even for Joe.
No,
sorry.
No. Won't be doing that.
But it's we are enjoying the ride. I've seen us. So we're on the last bit now as we're coming down. We're on this road. It's the B8063. The instructions literally say follow your nose, and I'm not even kidding. It tells us not to bear left over the river, because the river runs down to us left hand side, and then keep on going towards Glenalmond and Pixon. So if you never hear from us again, that's what happened when you find the car and you retrieve the footage. That's what happened. That's where we went wrong. And then you get back onto the 85, which takes you down to Perth. So again, I just want to kind of say thank you to Ian and friends for the organisation. Honestly, this trip has been so well laid out. The route's been fantastic. He told us today was his favourite of the days, and I can understand why. This has been a proper driver's day, hasn't it, Bob?
Yep.
You're enjoying this bit. I enjoyed the bit I did, and then I drank too much whiskey to continue. So we'll see if we make it back. We've got a little bit of things, so I'm going to hold that video for when we get back to the hotel, and we'll just do a final piece and go a summing up. But you know, broadly, want to try and if you're anyway interested in driving around Scotland, the TBR700 I would highly recommend. If you don't want to do something organised, equally you can't go wrong. Just go drive up, drive around the NC500, and you're not going to go wrong there either.
Yeah.
There's plenty of directions you can find, but we've enjoyed every single second of it, absolutely. So I'm going to focus now on making sure we go the right way, or at least I'm going to try, and we'll do a final piece when we get to the hotel. See you there. Oh God. It constantly takes me by surprise, that. You've never seen it go up and down while we're in it, so we thought we might as well do it.
Yep.
So this is the last bit, because we are at our final destination, which is the Old Man's Guest House. This one does breakfast, thankfully, so we sorted that in the morning. Bob, over to you.
To do what? Final piece to camera. Nice.
Taste test. Taste test.
Taste test. Now, you might recall one of the many videos we had a discussion about what was the right sauce to have with sausage and bacon, butties and stuff like that.
And if you remember that, you've sat for about 5 hours of footage. Yeah.
So congratulations, you've reached the end.
Good staying power.
We've only had one opportunity to test this, and that was this morning.
For breakfast.
At the V8 Cafe in Inverness. Great truckers stop. Lovely food, lovely people there.
Good pies.
Good pies, very good pies. Where we had sausage butty. Yeah. And Steve was going to try red sauce,
tomato sauce, as I know
sauce on a sausage butty, because I said I think you should only have tomato sauce with a sausage butty, not brown sauce.
And it was very good.
The result? Say that again.
I was very good.
Yeah.
You were right. I still like brown sauce, but I could have red sauce now.
See, there you go. Viewers, if you've stuck with us this long, well done.
I've been converted.
There are things you can try. The NC500, a must. Haggis for breakfast, a must.
Yeah, I would agree
Haggis,
with that.
tatties and nips, enough. Yeah, is very good. The mangrove in Inverness.
Oh, I would recommend that. That was a cracking
Very good. Very nice.
Well worth it. Good Inverness for that, if you like curry. It's amazing.
Yeah, like it. Very good. That stopover where I went for those fish and chips that they had gravy, yeah. I take it back. Ullapool. Yeah. That chippy, very, very good. And
third best chippy in the UK.
I would now say third best chippy in the UK. All right. That's a Rob standard.
Bob standard.
Bob standard.
In years
to come, it will become the new Michelin standard.
Chips were within tolerance, should we please?
Chips were within tolerance. You could have a slice of gravy.
You could have a slice.
The mushy peas were really good.
The peas, it was hilarious.
And the fish felt as though they just popped the rod into the harbour and whisked one out. So yeah, very, very good. The company's been great, Steve.
I would agree. The company has been great.
The car has performed very, very well. Well done, Mercedes. You actually built a decent car for a change.
Nice one, Hella.
Nice one, Hella. Still got to get us back to Yorkshire tomorrow, but it's downhill, so it should be fine.
It'll be right.
It'll be downhill.
It is downhill. From Scotland's at the top, it's all down all the way down.
So it'll be fine. But there you go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people.
Even if made out of jelly and your babies.
Made out of jelly. We're off to check in and sort of change out of driving shoes. Recommend getting yourself a pair of driving shoes. You should always have a pair of driving shoes.
I mocked on you for that, but I actually like to drive in these Converse now.
Yeah.
So
It's
who's laughing there?
Driving gloves as well.
It's on you.
They do work really well. So it's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
Good night.
Thank you for watching.